Our favorite Compas have another jam-packed episode of the Four Compas Show. In this episode, we will have a very special guest joining us to go over the playoff picture after the chaos that we saw in Week 13. Plus, we have our Week 13 takeaways, and of course, we can't forget about our usual segments, the Compas Power Rankings, and we make our picks for Week 14. But obviously, we had breaking news earlier, Hilberto. The Pittsburgh Steelers have claimed Adam Thielen, receiver from the Minnesota Vikings. Your thoughts?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Another old wide receiver trying. Well, first, though, let me tell you about the cycle. First, the old receiver looks for a home for like 5 months in the offseason. And then it's like, should I go back with the X, go back with the team that drafted me? And nobody else is out there. F it. And then, oh, wow, look at this team. They're stacked with that person now. And then a couple months pass. They suck. They lose. You remember why you left this team in the first place, or why they wanted you gone. And then you say, hey, can you waive me to a contender? I'm also ringless here. And then you get waived. But then you're hoping that nobody picks you up so you go to a good team. But then, Adam Thielen, poor Adam Thielen, gets picked up by the Steelers, the crappiest team in the NFL right now, because their coach is not good, their quarterback is not good, their defense is old. But come on down, Adam Thielen. Increase the average age of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That actually kind of right.
Funny and we'll get to this with Eric, but I can't remember who said it on Dan Patrick's show that this is probably the year that he believes. I can't remember what reporter it was, that Mike Tomlin leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers is probably the biggest bet. And I was like, damn. I'm like, that is definitely crazy. Angel, it was actually me that was late, so I apologize. It was me that was late, not Hilberto. Gilbert, I had to go pick up my freaking swag, obviously. Swag. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Where'd you get that?
Huh? At the WWE thing, but I had a friend that worked it. And she was like, "Oh, I get a 40% discount." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Bye." So look at that.
That's actually pretty cool with the Padres logo.
I bought two, one to wear and the other one to. I mean, might have to frame that thing. Might have to frame it with my picture with Cena. I don't know. But yeah, there you go.
Two favorite things: San Diego and John Cena.
I know. Then I got. Dan hasn't seen this yet, but I got him this shirt. Dominic Mysterio, King of the Luchadores.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I like it's a good shirt. Yeah, I know. And then
what else you got? And
then I got my usual pin. I always have to get a pin at every event that I cover. That's kind of my thing. I don't know why. I have pin, like I have a Padres Dodgers from last year. The let's fucking go San Diego, one more game y lo sacaron fuera. Idiots. Well, Padre fans blame me because I got the video of what's his name, Alfaro, saying one more game, and we got this bullpen day, and they bullpen the bat straight up your ass. Then I got this last one just because of shits and giggles.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The only good match of Saturday night.
I was gonna say, Fernando, because I wanted to hear your thoughts, because usually, I'm such a casual fan that I get most of my stuff on social media. I didn't see anything besides John Cena, Mysterio.
If you watch that match, what I thought was special of that, and guys, we will have our special guest on, and we'll have Vic the producer on in 3 minutes. I'm just gonna go through this quickly. The event itself was it was great. I got to mingle with some of the wrestling, like two people who I do consider journalists. So I mingled with two people. Great. I got to meet Topanga. I got to meet Topanga. That was awesome. My favorite moment of the night. I'm like, I don't care if I don't meet anybody else, just Topanga. I offered Jey Uso my chair when I was at the hotel bar the next night. We went to the hotel bar. Jay was there. I'm like, oh, do you want my chair? And he goes, nah, man, I'm good. I was like, okay. And he's like, I appreciate it though. I was like, for sure. He goes, yeet. And I'm like, what? I was like, okay. And so I was like, all right. The women's match was okay. I thought it was fine. Good. I mean, it was a good kickoff. Dom and John Cena I thought was awesome. You know what I really liked about that match is I love the fact that all members of the Judgment Day were able to hit Cena with something. I thought that was great. they all use their finisher on Cena, or they got to do something to him. That was incredible. Liv Morgan comes out. Then she did a better. You remember when Cena did the face where he's like hugging Cody Rhodes, smiling, and then he like goes serious face? She did the exact same thing, but with Liv, it was like, oh shit, she's a psycho. Stephanie Vicar versus Nikki. I mean, I'm a Nikki Bella. I love Stephanie as well, but match. I knew Stephanie was gonna win. There's no way they're gonna put it on Nikki. And then lastly, the men's match. I thought it was good. I loved that Jey Uso started yeeting. All of a sudden, Brock let. So the timer wasn't supposed to go off yet. Jay was supposed to yeet for a while, and then Brock said "F it" and he came out on his own. And I thought that was pretty funny. When Roman, the three loudest pops was when they showed Topanga, when Roman came out, and when Brock came out. Like everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And John Cena as well. But Roman came out and like everybody got distracted. Nobody was watching the match. Everybody was just throwing up their ones. The men's match I thought was kind of lame. I didn't like the ending. But then watching Braun Breaker's promo last night, I was like, okay, I'm back in. I'm like, screw it. Like he called he basically like he called CM Punk a bitch. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, now okay, let's see what happened. Then it comes out today that CM Punk wasn't there last night because his dog passed away, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, still, according to Braun Breaker. But
oh yeah,
definitely some fun. I liked it. I had fun at it. Jesse, you were there. Yeah, a lot of people ended up. Omar Navarro from Chargers.com. He showed up. He bought a floor seat ticket for $80. I was like, geez. I'm like, all right. So
not bad.
That's how those things go. Let me see. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys have been waiting for this individual. You guys are wondering where he's at. And I'm going to say he is finally here. Let us bring in Fox Sports reporter, analyst. Dan is not here, but he said to call him a Sean McVay, a Pete Carroll apologist, and a Sean McVay's boy, Eric D. Williams. Oh, no, that was my bad. I apologize. That was on me. Let me get his music.
Step up, bring it.
Better.
Yeah. Dan would not be happy, though, because he's wearing a sweatshirt, a hoodie. Quickly, Eric, before we bring you in, let us bring in Vic as well, because he wants to get in on the action as well to chat with you. But, Eric, how are you doing?
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me as always. I wore the sweatshirt in honor of Daniel because I know that he likes me to be casual. So, I figure he wants me to be comfortable. So that's why I wore my sweatshirt.
Well, the last time you were on the show, you and Gilbert really pissed a lot of people off. So
Gilbert and Vic.
Yeah. But that was on House of Horn. Dan and Dago is not part of House of Horn, so he wore the collared shirt for us. So thank you for that, Eric. And speaking about that episode, did you get to see the comments of how many people in Seattle, your home area, did not like you for your commentary?
Yeah, I was surprised for the folks in Seattle because they're normally passive aggressive, but that was mostly aggressive there in the comments. So, it was interesting. I do wear the collared shirt for the Horn show because it's kind of a higher class crowd.
Yeah.
But I dress for the crowd that I'm talking to.
that is well said. Excellent. This is why I love having Eric on. Dan,
we're a bunch of scumbags over on What's Up Bolton. I'm all for it. I love it. We definitely that's how we are.
I'm with those people though, so I'm really calling out myself as well.
So like Pop came up to me on Sunday and he goes, hey, one of the guys, some of my people on my Substack said you should go watch the ending of the episode of the Raiders Chargers preview, and because I guess one of the reporters was like, the Chargers beat has Pop and the Raiders beat has Hondo. And I just start laughing. I'm like, oh my god. So Pop didn't understand it. He's like, dude, you guys like to shit house a lot on that show. I was like, oh, dude. I was like, all we're doing is shit housing with people on in the comment section and everything. He's like, yeah, that's actually a good time. I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, with Dan, he freaking goes off on a tangent about God knows what, and we go all over the place. But yeah, how was Seahawks, Seahawks, Vikings.
It was good just to be back home and be able to spend some time with the team and get to know some of those guys a little bit better. Be in that locker room. Those guys are buttoned up. They kind of follow the lead of their head coach, who certainly is that way. Very kind of a workmanlike approach when you talk to those guys. Was impressed, obviously, with the way that their defense played, especially their defensive front. You look at Leonard Williams and Murphy. I believe they have 7 sacks each. That kind of it's where it starts for that defense. They're obviously taking the ball away. They had 5 turnovers against the Vikings. But Brosmer, however you say his name.
Yeah.
I haven't seen somebody play that bad since Nathan Peterman with the Bills against the Chargers. I mean, it was
And you were there.
I was there. That's why I'm saying that. It was very similar to that performance.
And you only watched him for a half, Eric, I think, wasn't it? Or did he play the whole game? I can't remember.
I think he got replaced by Tyrod Taylor in that game, if I remember correctly.
Halfway through at halftime, he threw the 4 picks in the first half, I think.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 possessions, and it was just, you felt bad for that quarterback. He just looked overmatched, like it was just too much for him. And then he makes you wonder what O'Connell is doing, like the decision making from that organization, from ownership all the way down to let two competent quarterback go in Darnold and Daniel Jones, and to hedge all your bets and go with McCarthy with the way that's gone. They really have to look at their process to see, what decisions were made and why, and where they made the mistakes.
Well, hold on, Eric. Sam Darnold's not playing well either. Remember, you called him out. He's not good.
He's playing better than that other dude is. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Darnold did not play well in that game. I mean, you're right. Threw for 128 yards. The defense did all the work, and he was competent. He didn't give the game away while the other guy did. But Darnold is going to have to play better in these gotta-have-it moments, and I think he knows that. I think the cool thing about that locker room is, they got his back no matter what. Now we'll see if that continues, if the poor performances start stacking with Darnold. But I talked to Ernest Jones about his comments that he made, just with that emphatic, post-game, speech. And he just said, hey, that's my dude. I'm riding with that guy. And I wanted to let it be known that it's not all about how Darnold plays. It's about how we play as a group. And Jones has really found a home there. I mean, he's kind of the guy defensively. So it's interesting that he's kind of, turned into that for Seattle, and the fact that the Rams were willing to move on from him, which, we know they don't value linebackers in terms of the price point. I think that was kind of the main reason. Maybe you guys can speak to that a little more. But he is turned in kind of their Bobby Wagner, to be honest. Like he's the leader of that defense.
Vic, you got anything?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, in terms of, like, I know we've had this discussion about Ernest Jones, and it was funny because we got kind of called out too, because they finally paid a linebacker, and that was Nate Landman. They finally paid a linebacker, and it's like, well, see, they do pay guys. They pay their running backs, and they paid now the linebacker. But in terms of Seattle. And I don't want to take anything away from what Gilbert's going to talk about later on with the Vikings. Where are you? Are you still at the same place you were when we had you on in terms of the Seahawks? It's how far can that defense take them?
Yeah, I think it's still, you're still there because you haven't seen Sam kind of get over that threshold to be able to play his best when his team needs him to play the best. So another moment will come in week 16 when they face the Rams again. And can he show improvement from how he played the first time? I think we know what they're going to get from the defense. I think if you're the Seahawks, the running game is coming. Like, you're starting to see them be more consistent running the football. And so if they can do that and just have him kind of manage the game like Russell did his first couple years there, and really lean on that defense to kind of win the game for you, then maybe they can make a deep postseason run. And then I also believe that they need to be at home for these playoffs as much as they can in order to make that run. So getting the number 1 seed, if you're Seattle, would be huge.
I mean,
And to add to that, go ahead, Fernando. Sorry.
No. If you're going Seattle or NFC
Yeah,
West, go ahead.
I was going to go after that. I'll ask the question about the Rams, and you could go with the Chargers, Fernando. But I've been critical of Sam Darnold. I already took a shot in this show. I was trying to set you up too, but you didn't take the bait, Eric. You're being a classic guy. You're holding yourself back, but
I have a
I'm
little bit of
starting
experience there, Gil.
You have
He
experience.
he was just there too. So
yeah, and you hang out with Dan too much in these car rides where he tries to get you in trouble by what you say. But going back to the landscape, because for a while I kept saying, okay, well, this team hasn't shown much. This team doesn't have a quarterback, and I've been again crapping on Sam Darnold, but what he has is a good defense, and I'm starting to buy into these teams that have very good defenses: Green Bay, Denver, Houston. I'm like, in a year that is really wide open, why not one of these defenses? And I still count the Rams as part of being one of these defenses. But kind of a two-part question. I know we don't have you too long here, Eric, but do you think a team that has a very elite defense could maybe win the whole thing this year? I can't remember the last time a team did that. Maybe Denver 2015. Maybe they could run it back again. 11 years later. But do you think that's the advantage? And to tie in the Rams in here, and I think the Rams still have a very good defense. The secondary is a little shaky, but can they hold up? Can they get the number one seed after what happened with Carolina? Is it just one bad day and they'll be fine because they're not just defensive oriented? They're actually well balanced on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can go back to the Broncos, because Manning wasn't playing at his best, and he was basically a game manager at that point of his career when they won it, and that was one of the strongest defense. Low key, the year that the Chiefs won it, I mean, the defense carried that team. I mean, not necessarily Patrick Mahomes. I mean, obviously Mahomes was clutch and made the plays, but the defense was really the strong point of that group that season. I think you're right. I think this is a year that a team that's led by their defense and has just competent quarterback play can win it. And the reason I say that, the top quarterbacks in this league, their teams are struggling. Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I mean, maybe two of those teams are going to make the postseason, and they're probably all going to be having to play on the road. So this is lining up to be one of those years like, you go back to the Bucks with Brad Johnson. You go back to the Ravens with, I'm forgetting his name, Trent Dilfer. Thank you. Even Russell Wilson when he was with the Seahawks. I mean, you could put him in there, and certainly you could put Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning, I don't even think was starting out.
That was
Osweiler.
That was the Stevie.
It was Osweiler,
Williams,
right?
Yeah, the Stevie Williams game where he had 2 picks, and at halftime they benched him. And
That's
Manning
right.
went in the second half, and he won the game, and they got the number 1 seed.
Yeah, and he didn't relinquish the starting job from there.
No, that was the last game of the season that year.
Yeah, that's right. I was in Denver, I remember.
Yeah. I'll ask you about the Chargers in a little bit. I kind of want to move along the teams with number 1 seeding. Does it seem like the Patriots are one of those teams that's going to need that number 1 seeding, especially with the inexperience? They haven't really traveled much outside of the East Coast, but if you keep them in, if they stay in New England, they have that number 1 seed. It feels like it's kind of a fortress for them in a sense, don't you think? Or do you feel like they're one of those teams that if they have the 3 or 4 seed, they can go somewhere else? I just feel like they're one of those teams that has to be at home. If not, it could be a crapshoot.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be at home. They've already won at Buffalo and at Tampa Bay. Those are 2 pretty good teams that they've beaten on the road. They're just buttoned up. They're solid at everything. They have one of the best special teams units, I think, in the league. That Marcus Jones dude, can score from anywhere on the field. Obviously, they're coached well on defense with their head coach Mike Vrabel. Josh McDaniels is doing a great job with their offense, and Drake May and how he's playing. I think if New England does have the number 1 seed, they're going to be tough to beat, because I just feel like it's hard to play there in January with the elements and the way that they play at home. It's going to be tough to beat them there, even for a team like, the Chiefs that really aren't playing well right now. But no, I think they're good enough to win games on the road because of their defense and because of Drake May and their head coach.
Do you want to take a victory lap right now on the Kansas City Chiefs, or are you still waiting to see? I think they're going to lose this weekend. Yeah. I've been picking my spots with the Chiefs this year, And I think I've done a really good job of kind of deciphering when they're going to win and when they're going to lose. I think Houston, without those 2 tackles, Houston might take it to them this weekend, and they may beat the Chiefs up.
Yeah. I'll wait till they're mathematically eliminated before any
There you go.
victory laps are taken. And I didn't say that they weren't going to make the playoffs. I just said that they weren't going to win the AFC West. And I think
is
that
true.
is going to happen.
Well,
But
you might get the full effect. You might be completely right about them falling off that cliff. I mean, essentially, if they lost to Houston this weekend and then Dan's Chargers go in there and beat them, they could basically, I mean, they'd be at 8 losses. They'd be at 8 losses, and that's basically done. So Dan could basically put the nail in the coffin for you, Eric.
I'm sure he would like that.
He's been sending all kinds of stuff in our group chat about
taking victory laps and doing a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, they're like, if you must be a sick individual if you're loving seeing what's going on with the Mahomes. He's like, oh, I'm just put me in a hospital right now because I'm loving everything that's happening. Gilbert, go ahead.
Yeah. So should I go with the Chargers one here? Get that one going since you brought them up here.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned I'm gonna put you on the spot, Eric. You mentioned all the star quarterbacks are not playing well. You didn't mention Justin Herbert, so maybe he's not a star quarterback in your eyes. But he also has one good hand.
No lies told.
Okay, so I see what you're doing there. I see this is heel Eric, so I like that. But he has one hand. You know, maybe I know you're not a doctor. Maybe you kind of tell us how that could affect the Chargers. But you know, do you see like a slide or kind of some kind of fade here for the Chargers with Herbert having one hand, a bad O-line? They're still waiting on the running back Hampton to come back. The defense has actually been up and down for a while now. Yeah. They have a difficult schedule starting against Philly on Monday night. So I'll put the question to you: how many wins do the Chargers need to make the playoffs, and can they get to that number?
I think the number's 10, and I think they can get to it. And give Justin credit; he's been playing injured, playing behind a makeshift offensive line, and really kind of willing those teams to victories by the way that he's played, both, you know, making plays with his arm, making plays with his feet. So, you know, give him credit. I don't think we can take that away from him. But I still don't feel like he's, you know, playing like one of the top 5 or 8 quarterbacks in the league statistically when you look at it. And obviously there's reasons for that. That said, Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the league. And I just feel like he is able to kind of get guys motivated week in and week out, which I think is one of the hardest things to do in the NFL. And I think some coaches like McVay and Shanahan that are considered kind of X's and O's guys don't really get credit for their ability to manage and lead on a week in, week out basis. And Gil, I think you've seen that from covering the Rams. Like, it's pretty rare that McVay's teams just get smacked. Like, they usually show up every week and are competitive. And that to me is a sign of a good coach that really has the pulse of his team. And I put Harbaugh in that category. Like, that was surprising that they got waxed by the Jaguars a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You don't see that. And so
a player told me we never got off the plane.
Ooh,
yeah,
true.
I mean, it certainly looked like that the way that they played. You don't expect that against Jacksonville. But that said, you know, for the most part, week in, week out, Chargers show up. They're buttoned up. They make teams beat them. And so I think down the stretch, that's going to mean that they're going to be able to get to 10 wins. And I think if they get to 10 wins in the AFC, I think they have a pretty good shot to move on.
Fernando's pretty happy because I asked him that question yesterday, and I said 11 wins. I think Victor said 11 also, and Fernando went 10, which I think it's a little low when you look at the all the teams in the race for the AFC. But hey, a lot of teams have a bunch of difficult schedules, so maybe 2 is enough. 2 more wins.
The only team that to me had a difficult or an easy schedule was Houston. Eric, to me, everybody else has a very tough schedule. Like even the Broncos, who a lot of people right now are taking victory laps on. I'm like, it's only December, the beginning of December. But even Denver has a tough stretch. They play Green Bay. They still go to Kansas City. They still have the Chargers. I know this one I'm going to sound like a psychopath, but they still have to go to the Raiders. And that's not going to be a gimme, especially because last game they almost lost to the Raiders at home. So
yeah,
Denver, I mean, the Chargers, I know they need to win their games, but the AFC West is still a 2-team race, in my opinion. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a 3-team race anymore. It's a 2-team race. But I feel like there is a lot of tough games right there. In the Colts. The Colts have a very tough schedule to end. Buffalo still has to play Cincy this weekend. Then they still have to go to New England. They still play at Philly. Like there's a lot of tough games. So that's why I had put it at 10.
Too.
Yeah, Jacksonville. So that's why I put it at 10, because I said 2 more wins and I think you're in. You get 3, then you might be fighting for the division at 3 wins, but it might be a tough go. The good thing is that they play Houston at home, they play the Eagles at home, and then they just have to win one of those 3. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win these games, but they have to win a road game or 2 to really put themselves in there.
Yeah, that's what I was factoring in, the fact that they play Houston, so that would give them the tiebreaker over them. And then I think AFC conference record, aren't they one of the better
They're
teams
6-2 in the conference.
Right, which is another tiebreaker. So if they get the 10 wins and another team's at 10 wins, like Houston, and they have the head-to-head, that would give them the tiebreaker to be able to move on. Yeah.
Vic, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I have something here for you, Eric. So I asked the guys a couple of weeks ago. It's before all the craziness this weekend that happened. And so this is how they have it as of before week 13. Fernando has the Bills as the 5th seed, the Chiefs as the 6th seed, and the Texans as the 7th seed. He has I think he had the Chargers out. So did Gilbert. He has the Bills as the 5th, the Jaguars as the 6th, and the Texans as the 7th. So my question to you here, before I asked you about the race here.
You got to throw Dan's team in there too. I'm sure Eric would love to hear what. I bet you Eric could know one team that Dan put in there.
Dan was on.
No, we didn't ask that.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. Okay.
And for context, we kept the same division leaders at the time, and at the time
we kept the same division leaders at the same time. So this is gonna lead right into my question about the AFC South division. So first, I want to know because the division leaders haven't changed. It's still the Colts, the Patriots. Now it's the Ravens, I guess, and the Broncos. So if those stay the same, who would be your 5th, 6th, and 7th seeds as of right now, Eric?
No, but Jacksonville did pass Indy on the tiebreaker, by the way.
Yes, that is true.
Right.
Yeah.
So if those stay the same, that you're asking who my wild cards would be?
Yes.
Okay. Buffalo, Chargers, Texans.
Okay.
I think I'd have to go Texans over Indy.
Now,
because the Texans are playing better.
Piggybacking off of that, Vic, are you cool if I piggyback off of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you believe that this is a different year in where those 3 wild cards could go into the stadium of another team and beat, like a Buffalo could go into Denver? Is that, do you feel like we're kind of at that point this year, especially with all the craziness that's happened?
Especially in the AFC. I mean, Denver's the number 1 seed, and y'all know how I feel about Denver. I mean, they keep winning games. But...
Hold on. I know what you're going. Hold on to me. That's a fraud alert, Eric. That's a fraud alert.
I mean, give them credit for winning the games, but it hasn't been pretty.
They almost lost to Marcus Mario. If Larry blocks Benito, Mariota wins that game. That running back was wide open.
He was wide open. All Mario had to do is pump fake and throw it around him, and it was a 2-point conversion. So, but that's why he's the backup.
He's a backup.
So yeah, they're definitely not world beaters. You definitely can get Denver. They're going to give you opportunities. And so if you're telling me Buffalo's going to Denver, I mean, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, I kind of like Josh Allen there. And then I think the other thing is I'm not a believer in Jacksonville either. Trevor Lawrence is going to do some weird stuff. And
look what he did with the Cardinals. He threw 2 picks.
Yeah, he looked like the quarterback for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Bo Nix threw one right at Bobby Wagner. Your boy Bobby Wagner keeps on putting up stats because Bo Nix threw it right at him, and he picked him off at the end of the game. Like it's crazy. What do you make of the Dallas Cowboys right now?
Hold on,
Oh.
Fernando. Before you move on to
My bad.
that,
Go
I
ahead.
want to make
Oh,
sure we
yeah.
answer.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know the answer now.
All right, Eric. So kind of to set you up, you talked about the Jaguars, you talked about the Texans, and you have now, according to you, you have the Texans. And so I want to know who your division winner is in the AFC South now, since you have the Texans. And are they like out of, before you get to the question there from Fernando, which is a great one in terms of the Cowboys, are the Texans the only team that is out of the division, right, out of the playoffs right now, that's going to make the playoffs? And then also, who wins this 3-team race? Because we know you have the Texans making the playoffs. So who's winning that division, the AFC South?
Yeah, I have the Texans winning the division.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I think they're gonna continue to ascend with the way that defense is playing. You get Stroud back healthy. They're running the football better now, and I think D'Amico is a coach that's been there before. So I think they'll continue to ascend and win the division. And then I like the Colts to sneak in as the wild card, and the Jags to fall off.
Oh, shit. That's a good one. All right. Hey, Eric explained it the way we all wanted to hear it. Eric, obviously, look, I
Yeah,
don't like
I'll
to
be
pat
back real
myself.
quick.
Yeah, you're good. I
Sorry.
don't like to pat myself on the back. Oh, he left, the asshole, because I was going to talk about the Cowboys. So Gilbert's team last year was the Cowboys. Like, he was die hard. Well, in the last 2 weeks, I don't know what it's been, but I've picked them. I picked them against the Cowboys or the Eagles, and I picked them against the Chiefs. I just had an inkling. I'm picking them, and Vic, I know we're going to do picks in a little while. I'm picking them against the Lions on Thursday as well. But what do you make of the Dallas Cowboys? It just seems like in the last and from covering the NFL for years that Marty used to have a thing where he could get players motivated. He could talk to some of the biggest idiots on the team and be like, or the biggest troublemakers and be like, hey, relax, take it easy. We have this season. It seems like Brian's done a really good job of trying to calm down CD and George Pickens, but just what have you made of the Cowboys so far this season? Or in the last two, I'll give you the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game winning streak. Dak is playing at an MVP level when you look at his numbers. He's been playing consistently all year, but the reason that they're winning games now is the trade for Quinnen. Like up front, they're playing better defensively, and they're able to consistently stop the run now with Quinnen in there, along with picking up that linebacker Logan. So that's kind of helped stabilize their defense. They're able to get more possessions back to their offense, which is one of the top offenses in the league. And they're also running the football. Javonte Williams, I believe, has 955 yards. He's in the top 10 in rushing, 8 touchdowns. So he looks like the running back that we saw when he first came in the league with the Broncos. Because they're able to run football, they can do play action off that. Dak is one of the most effective quarterbacks this year in play action passing. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards, I believe, 12 touchdowns and a couple interceptions, has like 108 passer rating, play action. And I think they have an identity of how they want to play. And Shoddy's done a great job of giving them that, and it comes from basically when he was with Seattle and the offense coordinator for Carroll. They're running the football. They're taking shots off of that because they have playmakers that can get down the field, and then their defense is coming. It's getting. So yeah, I was one of the people before the season started when everybody was crapping on him. I was saying, actually, I think he could coach. I think he's going to do better. People are giving him credit for it. Go back. I got the receipts, man.
He did.
Take the glory lap.
So, and I think it took some time because it's such an S show, around the Cowboys because of Jerry, for him to kind of work through all the stuff, the Parsons trade and all of the talk that was going on around that before the season started. But he actually kind of kept things stable, I think, behind the scenes while all that stuff was going on. And then it seems like, again, I don't cover that team on a regular basis. It seems like he has a really strong relationship with Dak. And I think if your head coach has a strong relationship with the quarterback, it kind of echoes through the rest of the team. And I think they just have really strong leadership with both Shoddy and Dak, and everybody's kind of followed in line with that.
Last
he be
question
one of
for you,
your?
Eric. Yeah, go
You
ahead.
want it? I was just gonna
No,
say
no,
real
that's
quick.
all you. I was just gonna say last question because Eric has b-ball practice.
Then I'll be quick. Do you think he'll be your coach of the year, or who do you have for coach of the year right now?
I don't know how you can't go with Vrabel at this point. I mean, to go in and do what he did with the Patriots, even though we've seen him do it with Tennessee, with a second-year quarterback that had some up and downs in his first season. I think Vrabel would have to be the guy, but certainly he would be in the conversation for what he's been able to do with the Cowboys.
Oh, see, okay, I didn't like that final question. I'm going to ask the final one. Detroit Lions, are they in or are they out, Eric?
Yeah,
are they making the playoffs?
can we get Eric's
do you have him on a parlay? Is that what I got to help you out here?
Well, I want to know if you think they make the playoffs or not.
Detroit's out.
He doesn't like the Dan Campbell fourth down stuff.
It's been bad this year.
Yeah, no, it's been reckless. Like even Eric and I fight in the press box sometimes about going for it or not. But that Eagles game, if they kick those 3 or 4 field goals, they end up winning the game.
Yeah, I mean it's not just the decision making though. I just think it's never looked the same once they lost those 2 coordinators.
Yeah.
At times the offense has looked good, but it hasn't been consistent. And then defensively, they've been up and down too. And at times Jared Goff has looked like the Jared Goff that played for the Rams, although for the most part he's been on point. But I think there's too many other good teams in the NFC that they're not going to be able to hop over.
Who do you have
in, Eric? Like in the NFC, who are your teams in? Who are your wild card teams? Or if the standings stay the same in terms of the division leaders, or do you have the Packers winning that division?
No, I think the Bears are going to hold on. I mean, I think they're kind of like the Broncos of that conference when you look at a lot of their wins. Sorry, dude. So yeah, I think the wild cards are going to be the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Niners. And can you imagine the Niners as a 7th seed? Like you make the playoffs, you're the number 2 seed. If you're the Bears,
Chicago. Oh no, the Rams. It'd be the
Rams, or it could be the Rams. Yeah, it would be the Rams right now. So
Eric, you must
face the 49ers.
You must be tired from all these victory laps. You also said 49ers are going to get double-digit wins. They're 1 win away. So congrats there too.
I did.
Yeah. All right. So this is what
I started making bets on these.
Well, this is what Eric has. He's got the Rams winning the West, the Bears winning the North, the Bucks winning the South, and the Eagles winning the East. Is that correct? And then you have Seahawks, Packers, and 49ers as your wild cards.
Yeah, that's correct.
There we go, guys.
Watch out for the Panthers, though. Watch out for the Panthers.
No, there you go, Gilbert's Panthers.
Don't do that. Don't do
Watch out
that.
for my boy Dave Canales, man.
Do you have a message for Dan before you head out?
Just tell him that I'm really comfortable in my hoodie today. I wish he could see it.
Appreciate that. Is Eric D. Williams. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter and on Instagram. That Instagram game is getting strong over there by Eric. EDubNFL22, if I'm correct, right, Eric?
Yes, sir.
All right. See you later, Eric. Have a good one. See you on Monday.
Have a good night, guys.
You, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
Love having. Oh, Vic, don't put this on yet. I have a video for you guys. A lot of conversations about Jackson Dart. Well, guess who started those conversations last during the offseason?
To change your playing style. Yes, I think it's reckless. I think it's careless, and I think it's dangerous. You're the only guy that can't play with a sore right shoulder, and we can't play without you. You've come out of some games now. Right. You had your ass knocked off and you sucked it up and went back in the game. But talk to me about some of these hits. Why won't you go out of bounds? Why won't you go down?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. And you're going to be in that concussion protocol tent. And I'm going to be holding the game plan going, where the hell is Dart at? You know what I mean? Yeah. Write it down. Evil Knievel. That's who you are. You're going to jump over a freaking canyon out there in Utah. Is that what you're going to do in your off season?
Yeah. Can you?
This is insane.
Knievel? How do you spell Knievel?
Shit. KNEVIEL. Knievel. I mean, you did it at USC. You haven't changed. Why haven't you changed?
Yeah, it's definitely something that when I watch back and in those moments, I definitely are like, all right, like that's not smart. It's not a smart hit to take. So that's definitely something I'm gonna get better at. But in my mind, I'm always trying to be +2 and
Plus what?
+2.
What's that?
Anytime you get hit with contact, I want to fall 2 yards forward.
Yeah, well, that's all great, but not anymore.
Yes, sir.
It's also called dumbass too. Jesus.
Isn't that a great video?
Yeah, he was on it. I wonder if he was still a coach of the Raiders, would he be like, nah, I'm not taking that guy. Unreliable. Won't be available.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong though. Like last night he took a couple shots and I'm like, dude, you keep on talking about how you're gonna change, and then you pull this crap. I'm like,
he's being more defiant now. Yesterday he said this is not soccer, which I appreciate the shot at soccer, but he's like, I'm not gonna change. And then Troy Aikman was saying, like, we talked about it in the meetings about, okay, are you gonna protect yourself? And you say he looked annoyed about it. I was like, this guy is just getting tired of the questions. I'm like, you gotta listen, kid. Maybe he will in the offseason, but you're not gonna be available. You keep making trips to the blue tent.
Either way, I love how he said, you're going to be in the blue tent, and I'm going to be like, where's Dart? Dable did the same shit, and he got shit canned.
Yeah, he got fined, and he got canned.
He went into the damn blue tent. Where the hell's Dart? So,
how do you imagine Mike Kenta is like, I got to keep this job here, and I can't even protect the freaking quarterback who's not listening.
Brian, if the 49ers finish with the third in the NFC, will they get another soft schedule next season? They will.
Oh, but they're not facing the AFC West. I mean, NFC West isn't facing the AFC and NFC South next year. I think it's going to. I need to check and see who they're playing. But go ahead, continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. No. I was just making sure. There's not much we could go off of this game. I thought the Patriots took their foot off the gas in the second half. They were up 30-7, I think, in the first half, and they kind of took their foot off the gas. They won the game. They got the number 1 seed. I'm telling you, I know Eric said that he feels like they can go anywhere, but I think come playoff time, you want to be at home with your home crowd, with your people. So Gilbert, I'll tell you one thing, except for Buffalo, I really don't like, how right now I was kind of giving the Broncos a hard time because of their schedule. They go, they're on their bye week right now, by the way. So they're going to rest up and they're going to get some guys, Angel, I'll text them in a little bit. Relax. I will. There's somebody will be on that show, hopefully, unless I get something and I have to not do the show. But Dan said I could take the week off, by the way, from doing it, Angel. But I'll try. The Bills come there after a bye week, and the Bills are playing the Bengals this weekend, so they're going to be tired. Then the Patriots go to the Ravens, they go to the Jets, and then they end with the Dolphins at home. Gilbert, I'll tell you one thing. I could see them winning those last 4 games.
Yeah.
I don't see anything from and Vic. I don't see anything like the Ravens.
They don't look good.
And I tell Tyler Dragon and I beg him, I plead him. I get on my hands and knees and I'm like, Tyler, please. I'm telling you, watch out for those Ravens. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, why? Don't. But I don't know what you guys think. I could really see the Patriots taking that number 1 seed. And they'd be the ones that can, because I'm telling you, the Broncos I think are going to lose two more games, if not 3, because you can't keep up this crap that they're doing. Like that's not sustainable to be able to, like the Jets, the Raiders, them, you're going to lose one of these games and you're going to lose multiple. So again, the Packers are going to come in there. The Packers are going to need a big victory, especially with how tight things are in the NFC North. But I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I think I definitely think the Patriots could win out, but sometimes you kind of need to lose one game to kind of get everything reevaluated. I don't know, or maybe this bye week's late enough that they don't need it, and this bye week is like, oh, we lost. Let's look at everything we've done wrong and let's go back at it. But this just gives Will Campbell another week to try and come back and get ready from that injury.
And real quick, Fernando, just because this is not something totally related, but it's on my burial of the week radar and it's pissing me off. Speaking of late bye weeks, this is the final week for fantasy football regular season before you go into the playoffs. Imagine not having Christian McCaffrey and you need a victory to go to the freaking playoffs. Wow, imagine, not having Trevion Henderson from the Patriots or Drake May. Like all these teams are on a bye week. It's dumb. I don't get why we have week 14 bye weeks, but in the real football, that's going to benefit.
Well, I've
Will
heard
Campbell,
I heard that there's leagues that they still are allowing trades till right now.
I
Yeah,
guess maybe that's
and
smart.
some leagues start their playoffs this week on week 14, Gilbert.
Yeah,
when there's a bye.
That's terrible. Like what? Like
Yep.
something needs to be. I know nobody cares about fantasy football when it comes to.
But that's
real
there
football.
was a discussion before the season about the week 14, and there were some leagues that were starting their playoffs in week 14.
Yeah,
which
Carolina
is pretty
also
terrible.
off. Ted McMillan, Rico Dow. So there's a lot of good players that won't be available this week. And speaking about what real football cares about, a little update. They're going to have a meeting, the league, about the playing surfaces. They're going to tell the media the stats for why these surfaces are
Look what
okay.
you
That's
did.
my guess. Maybe they'd be like, you know what, that guy Gilberto from SI, he was right. We're going to get rid of everything. I don't know, but there's going to be breaking news. There's going to be a news conference to talk about playing surfaces.
And to Brian Smith's schedule question, guess what? The NFC West is going to have the toughest schedule. They're going to go from the easiest schedule to the toughest. They're going to face the AFC West and the NFC East. So
but you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
we
true.
all thought the AFC South was gonna be a cakewalk, and they might have 3 playoff teams.
That is true, but
I do think there's something there when you have an easier schedule. Look at the Chicago Bears right now.
Yep.
Look at the team that's supposed to be reloading in the 49ers. They're benefiting from a cupcake schedule. The Broncos are benefiting from it. So there's something to it, though.
Yeah, and to Fernando's question, and he was talking about the Patriots in terms of them getting home field. I think at this point you're spot on. I think they might lose that game to the Bills just because the Bills really need that game to get into the playoffs. And so that thing is huge. But I was thinking about this. Oh, now we lost Fernando too. And so my thing is, Gilbert, and I've been thinking about this lately just because everybody keeps bringing this up with the Chiefs and the Broncos now. It feels like the Broncos are last year's Chiefs, where they're winning all these one-score games. And even though the Chiefs are a better team this year than they were last year, where they made the Super Bowl, which sounds crazy, but if you look at the stats, their stats are better. And Eric pointed it out. That defense is the difference. It's not as good this year. And I think when it comes to what you've been saying in terms of the Broncos, I think that defense is going to take them a long way, but I just don't know how long you can continue to win those kind of games when you're having to face good competition.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I don't remember the last time a team that kept getting so lucky, and the Chiefs are an outlier. Like, they had the benefit of the doubt in their dynasty to win one-score games and then get the number one
They win
seed.
11-0 in one-score games last year.
Yeah, but when's the last time a lucky team, like, remember Minnesota that year where Kevin O'Connell, his first year, won a bunch of one-score games? They weren't the number one seed. They were like a 3 or 4. Like, I can't remember a team that was this young and kind of surprising. I know the Broncos made the playoffs last year, but a team that we view as a fraud to get the number one seed, I think that's going to be rare. And I wonder how much it pays off having the home seed if you've been just by handling business. Now you have to come to their house in the cold in Denver, high altitude with a good defense, and and they've been okay running the football. If they had J.K. Dobbins, they would have been much better. So maybe that could be their flaw. But I think if they get the number one seed, like this whole pretender label, like I think we should ignore it because you're gonna have to go through their house, a very good defense. But if they say they don't, and maybe like Eric laid out, like, or I think it was Fernando, if they get the number 2 seed and you get an experienced team like Buffalo in the wild card, a team you haven't beaten, maybe you get bounced. But imagine getting that first seed and then you get a bye week, and then you have to kind of wait for the teams that beat each other up coming to your house the following week. You never know, but it's just they don't lose, and to their credit, the only teams they've lost to are have both of them have 8-4 records. That's Indy and the Chargers. So they're winning the games they're supposed to win. The Rams haven't done that. The Eagles haven't done that. The Packers haven't done that. So I know that I've been harsher than I think you guys on Denver. I'm starting to come around, and you've been on this. I think you're saying, you usually say, well, guys on rookie contracts or teams with good defenses. You never know. They have a chance here. And I think this year they really do. And then what is it? Every 5 years there's a team like that. Nick Foles, Eagles, we talked about Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson. It happens, maybe not as frequently because Patrick Mahomes keeps winning, Tom Brady kept winning, and Matthew Stafford won. I don't know how we consider Jalen Hurts as a superstar, but he won as well.
Yeah, and we're getting to that point this year where I think the frustration from everybody involved, whether it's the national media or even local reporters or even us, I think not knowing what the heck's going to happen in the playoffs. We all think we know, but I think once we get there, we have no idea what's going to happen with some of these seeds, because how are you going to tell me that, hey, the Patriots are going to be good? It's Drake May. It's in the second year. You have, perhaps, Williams down in or up in with the Bears. You just don't know this year. It's just and everybody's like, yeah, well, I can see all the lower seeds going and beating teams, and I don't.
Even though they're all struggling.
Yes.
Like in a regular year, Vic, it'll be like, nah, those lower seed sucks. It's all about the number one seed, and like they're gonna win. Home field matters. Now home field doesn't matter. And it's funny because I think we're giving, or not me, but I think people are giving the Patriots a pass because they still feel like that dynasty team. Like even though they're totally different, Chicago's not getting that benefit of the doubt. Denver's not getting that benefit of the doubt. Why is New England all suddenly like, oh, they could win? Because it feels familiar. And I think people are having a hard time forgetting about what they saw in previous year. And it's it's a little difficult because the AFC has kind of created that, right? With the Chiefs always being good, Ravens always making the playoffs, Buffalo always making the playoffs. Even Houston kind of is usually in there. But now it's like, who are these teams? They're so unfamiliar. They're strangers. Oh, they're frauds. I know football. I know what I've seen. I'm right here. And people are having a hard time with that. So I'm actually enjoying that. But I was also part of that group. But hey, I better late than never. And a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to jump into that. And watch when one upset happens when it comes to like an experienced team, say San Francisco beats somebody or Buffalo beats somebody as a low seed. I told you. And then they will ignore Denver, Denver, Chicago in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting once we get there because I have no idea what's going to happen. And this is the same thing why I always tell you guys, like, when we do our predictions, I'm like, we can go with the same teams because every season is different. And I'm like, again, we're going to have 4 new teams in the playoffs. That's why I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's been for 36 years now that we get for it. It was like, yeah, but and I can't tell you which teams every before the season. I'm like trying to figure out what teams are going to be in. And usually I'm a year behind, but like this year it's been crazy just seeing like everything flip. And
I think I was going to ditch that real quick because there was only 3 that made it last year. And I'm like, is this going away? Is a 7 seed? Are they ruining the whole unpredictability?
Right.
But you're right. They're back to it where nobody knows anything. And then Ben Johnson and Mike Brable, first year coaches at new places, have the number 1 seed right now.
And this season, like the postseason, is really going to test the NFL. If Mahomes is not there, can they get the ratings with a lot of these top seats not being popular? Like this is really good. Like, are people going to be interested in seeing a matchup between, let's say, the Jaguars or the Colts against anybody?
Yeah. Jacksonville, Houston as a wild card matchup.
Especially if you get 3 AFC South teams, like who's going to want to watch AFC South football? And so
that's where the Jim Harbaugh effect comes. Like, because of what's happened the 2 times that they've been in the playoffs, people are going to see what way can they mess it up. No offense, but like what way can they mess up this time? Like people want to see Jim Harbaugh in the playoffs. They want to see if Justin Herbert can finally like win a game. Like the 3 AFC West, like the 3 AFC South, people I think really only care about the Colts and the Texans. I don't think people really care about the Jaguars.
I don't think people even care about the Colts or Houston either.
I don't think so either.
No, I think Houston. I think Houston's defense that Thursday night, got a little bit of like, oh shit, okay, like they got sacked Josh Allen 10 times. Like I'm sure they want to see that, but
real quick, I think Indy is really in trouble. People are not making
I
a big
think so
deal
too.
of Daniel
Yes.
Jones's
I think so too.
fractured fibula. Like the guy needs to move around, and he can't
Yeah.
do it. And then
He had
you
1
have
yard rushing, Gilbert. 1 rush.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine loading the box to stop Jonathan Taylor, and now it's like, all right, can we find some balance from Daniel Jones? Well, I can't move. Like
That's what he did against the Chargers. He was moving in the pocket. He was making passes down the field. I think it happened that it had to have happened in that Chiefs game because in the first half he was moving fine. Then all of a sudden he was like really stiff and wasn't able to do anything. So yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. They have a very tough schedule and they're going to Jacksonville this weekend. I mean, that could either be, hey, we're gonna beat them, we knock them off, and we keep on moving, or it's we're gonna lose. Jacksonville takes a 1-game lead on us, and let's see what happens. But yeah, no, I completely agree. Pretty soon I do. Vic, I think the last weekend of the week before the last weekend of my bad. Our last week 18, I think we should do who's in, who's out coaches wise, just to see, because I'm interested to see about Raheem Morris. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with what you guys think about him. But all right, what was my biggest takeaway? And I mean, we've talked about it this whole like 50 minutes that we've been on here. It's anybody's Super Bowl, really. I mean, I just don't see how we can say anything else. It just feels like anybody can really take it. I don't see. There's not like Philadelphia Eagles last year or Kansas City Chiefs where you're like, yeah, it's going to be that team. Like it feels like really anybody can win. And it's like Gilbert and Eric both said, if you have a strong defense, you should be able to you could ride your defense all the way to the Super Bowl and potentially win it. I mean, what did you say? What was the two teams that you threw out yesterday, Gilbert? If it's the Packers against the no, you said if it's Patriots Bears, is anybody going to really care?
Or Broncos Bears. Like I know Chicago would love it, but they're
Chicago and Denver would love it. The rest of the NFL would be like, really? Like that's what we're going to get? Like, especially when soccer is giving you Cristiano Ronaldo at the World Cup in a couple months. I mean, why would anybody?
He still plays?
Whoa.
I mean, there's a controversy, but I'm not going to get it.
No, screw that controversy. These guys can go piss on ants. The dipshit on the other side got a red card didn't get a red card for lifting his hand, and he got congratulated with a World Cup 4 years ago.
You're playing Saudi Arabian soccer. That means you're like in the retirement home, like the Florida of the Middle East, pretty much.
Whoa. He saves his energy for when he has to play with Portugal. What are we doing?
I'm just curious. I'm just curious for now, real quick. We got to move on. But what's worse, playing in MLS like Leo Messi or playing in Saudi Arabia soccer like Ronaldo?
It depends on what you want. If you're trying to make bank, then the worst thing is playing in the MLS.
What about the quality?
If you still want the quality?
Yeah.
I think it's really like right there. Like there's some goals this year that I saw that I'm like, what are we like? I'm not gonna lie, and I've covered MLS this year. I've covered NWSL and everything because of I watch European soccer now for about 15 years now. It just looks so slow to me, no matter what. Like I'm like, what are we doing? Like some of the mistakes that these teams make, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, but it is what it is. I think if you're gonna like, I think Cristiano's making like $200 million a year playing over there in Saudi Arabia. So I mean, I'd want the money too. So all right, Gilbert, what was your takeaway from this week?
Yeah, and I'm with you about the It's Anybody Super Bowl. I wrote about it at SI.com, ding. And today I saw a bunch of stories about Kevin O'Connell being criticized, like, oh, the so-called quarterback whisperer is screwing it up. And, I've been on that for a while now, but also it's like, I hate seeing the people who crowned them the quarterback whisperer saying, hey, man, you're the label that I give you, like, you're not doing anything with it. Like, Kevin O'Connell didn't ask to be called the quarterback whisperer. You kind of just threw it on him. So it's funny how people just flip on a dime. And I'm like, I don't get what Kevin O'Connell did to deserve that title when he hasn't won a playoff game. He lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants, and he lost to who was it? I forgot already. But he doesn't have a playoff victory to me. Or the Vikings
to the Giants and last year to the Rams.
They lost to the Rams. So to me, it's like, how do you throw out words like that when you haven't won a playoff game? So I've been consistent. But now it's kind of like, it's not all his fault that the Vikings quarterbacks have sucked. Like, he had an undrafted rookie quarterback yesterday, and he kind of was forced to play him because McCarthy can't stay healthy. He's not even playing reckless like Dart. He just can't stay healthy, which is a bad look. And then Carson Wentz had surgery after the whole debacle against the Chargers on Thursday Night Football, so he had nowhere to go. Isn't that the GM's fault there? Kwesi Adolfo Menza. I was going to say a terrible joke. Menso, you should have found a way to keep either Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold. And, I get that those guys wanted more money and they wanted to start. But how do you roll the dice on McCarthy when you never saw him really practice as a rookie? You just won 14 games. You went to the playoffs. You have a wide receiver you're paying $35 million on Justin Jefferson. And you say, nah, we're going to go with the unknown guy. And, I'm trying to think about this because, yes, you invested a lot in the first round pick of JJ McCarthy. And I won't even punish the Vikings for going with McCarthy's upside over a low floor Bo Nix. That's not a knock on Bo Nix. He just doesn't have the same upside, but he's ready to go right now. So if you plug in Bo Nix with the Vikings roster, they're probably in a better shape right now. But for the future, are you that much better? So why not give McCarthy the Jordan Love plan? What's wrong with the Jordan Love plan where you wait 3 years and then he figures it out, boom, ready to go? Well, what's wrong with like having a quarterback competition where like, okay, McCarthy wasn't that good. Let's put in Jacoby Brissett. Brissett probably would have been hanging around for that a possibility. Go get him, and you get Max Bromer, and then you get Carson Wentz, who can't keep a job in the last 10 years. So to me, the Vikings GM deserves a lot of blame here. And then I bet he thought, hey, KOC, you're the quarterback whisperer. You could fix McCarthy, right? All right, get out of here, other guys. So to me, it's just I don't get why we're talking crap about KOC today.
No, and going back to that, I give a lot of credit to Justin Jefferson. I mean, he could have been pulling an AJ Brown and complaining, and he's been really quiet about it. I'm surprised. Like, I mean, you've read stuff and you've seen stuff about how Justin is very vocal, this, that, but they don't have to give him a freaking book on the sideline to give him a pacifier or kind of chill him out. But I totally agree with you. I think, and the thing is that let's be honest, Kevin O'Connell has a long leash. Like, he doesn't, it's not like they're going to fire him after this year because what's his name wasn't up to and ready to go, JJ McCarthy. And JJ was a guy that we all know needed to sit a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, let him learn and then throw him in there. He may have it up here, but he doesn't have it on the field yet. So I thought it would have been more. I would have been more impressed with Kevin if he would have sat him, kept Daniel Jones on a 2-year, I don't know, 2-year, $80 million contract, or the same thing for Sam Darnold. Kept him 2 more years, let the kid learn, and then throw him in there once he's ready. But everybody's so anxious. Everybody's so ready to fire head coaches that guys don't even get a chance to. And we all know Green Bay doesn't fire head coaches, so that rarely happens. So obviously they have let Jordan kind of come into his own, and obviously they had Aaron Rodgers, but they were smart. I mean, now they look really smart. Because I remember the day that they drafted him, everybody was all Packers fans were pissed because they thought that Aaron did play really well the next 3 years, but yeah,
what if they put Jordan Love right away or the second year and he sucks? And
you remember in the draft they said there is a big discrepancy between Jordan Love and the other 3 quarterbacks in the top of that draft.
He wasn't ready. He was raw.
But now the discrepancy, I think, is like between Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa, and I think the other 4 quarterbacks are all very good in that draft. I think Tua is the one that's kind of fallen off.
Love might be a close third from that draft class.
Who?
Jordan Love might be a very close third.
By the way, I'm still feeling like they're going to keep Mike McDaniel in Miami.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, the way they're playing and kind of going off of what you guys just said about. I'll start off. I'm like, if you're Mike McDaniel, I always make that mistake. Mike McDaniel, like, do you want to stay there? But they're fighting for him, so shout out to him. But I'll kind of cover both of you guys' comment here, and I'll be quick because I know we got to get to the rest of the show here, and then I'll to mine, and I'll be quick with mine. But in terms of what you had to say there, Gilbert, I'm with you in terms of like the GM has been a problem with the Vikings there for a while. It feels like O'Connell has kind of masked it with some of the decisions he's able to make, and his draft was really bad for a couple years where it was kind of like the Bill Belichick draft where they didn't have a lot of dudes that, panned out. They just got lucky because they were able to go and get guys. I thought the other mistake they kind of made too, aside from letting dudes go, and I'm surprised that Fernando didn't bring it up, but Aaron Rodgers should probably have been the guy there to be the backup. And I know they didn't probably want to deal with that whole mess that came with Aaron Rodgers if he wasn't going to show up till like halfway through preseason or the offseason, I should say. So I thought that was kind of an issue, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Vikings going forward. But the other thing I was going to say that I feel like Joe Burrow kind of ruined the perception of the number one pick in terms of like you had a guy who won a national championship. And so I think with JJ McCarthy winning the national championship, people thought, hey, he's ready to go. But sometimes when you have the best team in college, you can't see their flaws. And a lot of people go off of that. Like I remember when I was growing up, like none of the Heisman Trophy winners either panned out or the quarterback that was on the best. I always wonder, I'm like, how come the best quarterback on the team isn't being drafted like in the first round? And as a kid, I never understood that. And like now, like as an adult, I can see the fact that, hey, when you have the best players around you, it's kind of hard to see the flaws in these quarterbacks. So Joe Burrow has been kind of the exception of like the dude with that was the best player, the best quarterback, had the best team. So I feel like that kind of ruined things for JJ McCarthy too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
And talking about the best player,
yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, what Myles Garrett is doing, he's got 19 sacks. To me, he's like the best player in football. Like, that's quarterback, everything, whatever you want to say. Like, what he's doing, I get it. He's like, I get he's stuck on a terrible team. But I was trying to remember the last time where in any sport, whatever sport you want to take here, whether it's basketball, I thought about Kobe during those years where, between I think it was like 2005 and 2006, where he was on the worst team in the league, and he was the best player in the league, and he was just he just dominated, and it didn't matter that he was on a terrible team. I feel like Myles Garrett is out here just proving like, hey, I might be on the worst team, but I'm still the best player, and it doesn't matter by position. Like right now, there's no defensive end that even is like on a tier. It's like Myles Garrett, and then like the tier goes down to like number 5. I don't care about Max Crosby. I don't care about TJ Watt right now. Like the way he's playing right now, he's on a level of his own. And I can't say that I've seen that in a while. Like I think the last guy I can think of was Jerry Rice, where Jerry Rice is still like the best receiver, and there hasn't been a tier like below him in a while. And I feel like Myles Garrett is there right now.
My only thing with that is like they lose and fall behind so much that he has more opportunities to go after the quarterback. But the numbers that he has and the pace that he has tells you it's different. But I'm more critical of that when it comes to like Trey Hendrickson. I was like, he has so many sacks because they're always like playing in high scoring games, and teams are getting they just drop back because they have to keep up with Joe Burrow, and they're trying to keep pace, so you get more cracks at it. So
he had 5 against the Patriots, he had 4 against the Ravens, and he had 3 against the Raiders. So that's 12 sacks between two teams. He had 0 against the Steelers, 0 against the Vikings, 0 against the Lions, half against the Packers, and 1 against the 49ers.
That's insane. We've never seen it, so it has to be a different thing here.
What it reminds me of, though, what Vic was talking about right now is this moment. RIP to my guy. Hopefully we don't get dinged for this, but
oh yeah.
You know how you do it. J-Leg going to the back like they not supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mike, man, you got a nice suit on today, too, man.
Appreciate that, Swag.
You got that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now, would that happen if you were there? Would there be a celebration?
No.
You could tell that was the first time he had been seeing that clip.
Yep. I
God,
remember that.
gone too soon. All right, let us go now with the Compas NFL Power Rankings. Gilbert, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I got a
This one
shocker
was the
here.
hardest week.
Yeah,
I laughed at this, by the way. Sorry when I first saw it.
everything that happened. Green Bay, Jordan Love. I just praised Jordan Love. He showed me a lot. He swept Detroit, and I know the first game was more defense, more running the football. He won that game on Thanksgiving. He had a clutch pass to Dontavius Wicks, 4 touchdowns, and I still struggle with the losses to Carolina, Cleveland. You tied with the Cowboys before the Cowboys got good. But to me, like when the heat was on LaFleur, who stepped up? Jordan Love. So I'll give him credit. And the defense is like now you got the quarterback, you got the defense, you got the running game, and it's nobody's Super Bowl to claim as saying, well, it's our title, we're the best. So why not? I'm going Green Bay. Where's the cheese eating bastard? Take it here. Maybe I'll regret it in a week. I can't give the Rams love after they lost to the Panthers, even though the Packers lost to the Panthers too. So I'll just drop them at number 2. I think I would not be shocked if these two teams meet in the NFC title game. And then Patriots, number 3, they keep winning. Broncos keep winning. 49ers keep winning. And their experience, it's a weird year. So this is my weird power ranking here.
I hate that everybody's putting the I think McCaffrey should be in that conversation because he's about to do
barely get some love for it now.
I know. He's about to do 1,000, and he's kept that offense. Like, the other thing we have to remember too, not just the fact that Mac Jones was out, they've had Pearsall hasn't played, Jawan Jennings hasn't played. Guys have been. George Kittle was out for 4 games. Like, a lot of their offensive weapons have been out, and Christian's been the only guy in there, and they've won 9 games. Like, but my bad. Vic, go ahead with yours.
I was gonna add to that one more thing, guys, and I was gonna say if the 49ers had Robert Saleh as their DC in the second one, they probably win the Super Bowl. But who knows? It's one of those what ifs, because Robert Saleh has done a great job this year with not a lot of parts there. Mine, I have the Rams, the Broncos, the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. Honestly, I have the Rams here just because I can't put any of the NFC teams up here. I get it; they lost to the Eagles. But they beat the Seahawks. And then I thought about some of those teams like the Packers. I'm with you, Gilbert. I'm starting to believe in the Packers. I mean, I don't know where my 2 Super Bowl teams have come out of now because I buried both of them, the Texans and the Packers. Oh. But now, like, I'm starting to believe in them again. So maybe I gave up on them too soon. But but in terms of my top 5 here, I just
your teams have a better chance than my teams right now. Baltimore and Detroit, they're not looking good.
All right, mine were Patriots 1, Rams 2, Bears 3. I don't know.
Bears.
I know. Eagles 4, Broncos 5. I forgot about the Packers. I would have put the Packers at 3 if I would have remembered, but yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, I know. Dan's bottom 5, and he told me exactly what he wanted. 1, Max Crosby for pushing his quarterback over.
Yeah.
That pissed him off. 2, the Colts for not being able to beat the Houston Texans. 3, Danny Pennies, as he put it. 4, he said Mahomes. I won't say what the expletives that he used. And then obviously the Chiefs, because he hates them. He can't wait to see them kicked out in the playoffs. And by the way, I mean, it would be funny if the Texans beat the Chiefs this weekend and then the Chargers go in there and they're the ones that kind of put the nail in that coffin. I'd laugh at that. I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. But
tell Dan about that scenario. So he's gonna be rooting hard for Houston this week then.
Oh, I know. But yeah, he definitely will. All right, let us go now with our power rankings. Rams 1, Patriots 2, Broncos 3, 4, Eagles 5, Bears. All right, let's look at our picks from last week. Gilbert went 4-2. I think I went 2-4. Vic went 2-4, and Dan went 1-5.
That's like the worst I've seen Dan go, I think.
Where's Dan?
He was not happy.
I know. Yeah, he was pissed. All right, let us start off with the first game of our picks.
Oh, this is our record, by the way.
Dan is still has a
Wow.
9-game lead on Gilberto. He's at 45-33. Vic is at 38-40. I'm at 38-40. Gilberto's starting to catch up to us. But
Yes, Fernando. Phrase it as 2 behind second place. I'd rather you say that instead of 9 behind Dan. 2 behind second place.
That's a good one, though. All right, let us go with the first game. Bengals at Bills. I will go with the Bills. Dan said he was going with the Bills. Gilbert?
Where are you going, Vic?
You want me to go
I
first?
figure out this game now. I need a couple of lone wolves. But
Okay,
no.
here I'll go Bills because they're on my wins team, so I'll go Bills.
All right, give me the Bengals.
All right.
Wow. All right. Shit on me. Dolphins at Jets.
Yep.
I'll go with the fuck. Oh my god. I'll go with the Dolphins here. I think the Jets they were like, okay, we won last week. Let's not do it again because we need a higher draft pick. Dan said he would go with the Dolphins as well. Gilbert?
Hey, the Jets came through for me last week, so give me the Jets again.
Vic? He's gonna go.
Give me the Dolphins. They're actually really playing well. So you're the lone
Back-to-back.
wolf again there.
All right. Next game, Colts at Jags. Give me the Jags. Dan said he would take the Colts. Gilbert?
Okay.
Give me the Colts.
Dan?
Sorry, Dan.
Okay. Fernando, you went with the Jags. Who did
Yeah,
you
I'll
go
go
with
with
for Gil?
Colts.
Colts. All right. I'm gonna go with Fernando here. I'm gonna go with the Jags at home.
Split.
Yep.
All right. Next game. You know what? I'm going to save that for the end.
Okay.
Let's go. Cowboys at Lions. I'm not going to deteriorate from it. Give me the Cowboys. Dan told me he's going to go Lions. Gilbert.
Okay.
All right, Fernando. If your hot streak,
No, bullshit. Jump on to the other side. No. No, hell no.
I want to join.
No.
but I will
Screw
feel so
you.
bad if I ruin it
Yeah.
for you. So fine, give me Detroit.
Yep. I'm gonna do the same just for you here, Fernando.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna go with the Lions as well.
If I go 3-3 with these
Yeah.
bastards.
Also, but you guys need to do me the solid with the tech. Well, no, actually, no, because never mind. Go ahead. Never mind. It didn't work last week, anyways. It doesn't matter. So
All right.
keep it the way you want.
Next, this is a big one. Bears at Packers. Give me the Packers. Dan said my bad. Let me rephrase this. I go Packers. Dan said, give me the stupid cheese-eating bastards damn team, and let's see if the plucker of eyebrows can do something with against the Bears. So
This is your chance, Vic. I'm taking the Packers too.
I'll take the Bears. I'm with Eric. I think the Bears are gonna win this division now.
Okay.
Like the way this season is going, I'm with him. So you're going Packers?
Yep. You're by yourself.
I got the lone wolf there.
and last but not least, the Houston Texans at the
I want to
Kansas
tell
City
you, I'm
Chiefs.
taking the Texans here, Fernando. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, do I can take them too, right?
Yeah.
But what about Dan? Are we all gonna take Houston?
Yeah, is Dan taking the Chiefs?
You know what? Yeah, give Dan the Chiefs.
Okay.
All right, then give me Houston.
Are you doing
Damn,
Houston
this is
too,
gonna win
Fernando?
well.
Yeah, I'll do Houston as well.
All right. Fernando and Gilbert. Okay.
So Dan got his
All
lone
right.
wolf with the Chiefs.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we have a lone wolf for everybody, and I think we do. We do. Okay,
I have two.
We're gonna go over this again because I want to make sure. Gilbert, you have two lone wolves. You have the Jets and the Bengals.
Mhm.
Fernando has the Cowboys. Dan has the Chiefs as a lone wolf, and then I have the Bears as a lone wolf, and we have a split on the Colts. It's the Dan and Gilbert have the Colts, and Fernando and I have the Jaguars.
I like it.
Yep.
There you go.
You want to do the wins?
Yeah, let's go over to the
I was so pissed about this, by the way.
wins. I am 39. Flipping hell. What happened? I was at 36 last week. Okay, so the Bears won.
We all went 3-2.
49ers
Pretty
won.
much.
The Bucks won. Okay, but the Ravens and the Eagles both lost. Bastards. Okay, I am in first place at 39 wins. Dan is 37-5 with his win. So the Steelers lost for him, but the Patriots won. The Colts lost, and the Packers and the Chargers both won. So he got 3 wins as well. All right. Hilberto is at 34-5. The Chiefs lost. The Lions lost. The Cowboys won.
Yeah,
The Broncos won, and the Panthers won. So you got 3 wins as
Chiefs
well.
and Lions. You pathetic
Wow.
teams.
And then let us go with Vic. He's at 33 wins. The Bills won. The Rams lost. The Texans won. The Falcons lost, and the Seahawks. All of us got.
I had a chance to go 5-0, and the Falcons effed me up, and so did the Rams. Man,
Wow.
I'm like, oh, this is my chance to catch up to these guys. Like, get out of the cellar. Like, I would have been right there. I would have been half a game up on Gilbert. Like,
dude, but who would have thought that the damn Falcons were gonna lose to the Jets? Like, there was no. I mean, I know this guy claims that he knew, but I don't believe that he knew. I definitely that was great show, guys. I know Dan will be back next week. He'll be fully rested. Gilbert, I'm thinking to myself, no Lunas live on Monday unless we do it very early.
I was thinking that. I don't know how we're gonna do it. We're both gonna be at the game.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to do it at like 9 a.m. or whatever, but I'm sure you have other things going on.
Well, I can let you guys know, but I can usually be home for lunch. So if that works, I don't know what time you guys are heading out towards.
I'm leaving here at 10:30, so that's why I said 9.
Yeah, it might be. I'm usually writing during that time, so
yeah,
we'll talk about it, but it's not looking good.
Yeah. So we don't know yet if we'll do a Lunas live.
A long show for post game or for What's Up Bolts at least.
Huh?
Yeah.
The same thing for What's Up Bolts. I can help you guys out for that.
Yeah. So for What's Up Bolts after the game on Monday, it'll be the same thing as we've been doing with the night games. Gilbert, Vic, and Dan will jump on. Eric and I will jump on from the road. So yeah, that'll happen. For the preview episode, I'll let you guys know. Shit, it's not that it's Dan; it's the other stuff, but. I'll let you guys know. Most likely I will. I'll message Eric and see what he says. I'm sure he'll jump on, but all right. I'll most likely, yes. Let's just call it Thursday because I want to see if Herbert speaks tomorrow or not. So after his surgery, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
ask him about his hand.
The hand of God. Yeah,
the hand of God.
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much for joining another episode of the Four Compas Show. Thank you to Eric T. Williams for jumping on with us. That was great. He gave us a lot of very good information. Thank you to Vic. Thank you to Gilbert and Dan. If you're out in the woods listening right now, we appreciate you as well.
Role model style.
I know, for real.
He's probably taking a dump in the woods right now.
But definitely appreciate everybody. You guys are the best. Gilbert, why don't you get us out of here?
Yeah, stay safe out there, Dan. Let me know how it goes over there. I don't know. Is he teaching them how to make s'mores and build a tent and campfires? Who knows? But all right, time to get going. Nos vamos, pues. Dan in the woods. Nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.